Well, one of those countries that has made a step forward, a big step forward, was India. And they made a huge change to their currency. They basically brought in all that currency and said, look, by this date, you're not going to be able to use those bills any longer. And so that caused, mass chaos. This is a society that is heavily based on cash, and they don't want that to change. They don't want there to be a difference here, the people anyway, but they're saying, look, we need to worry about the black market, and therefore we will go this route. It was a big disruption, that's for sure. Sweden is on its way to becoming a cashless society. At the bottom here, between 2007 and 2015, cash in circulation decreased by nearly 15%. The number of cash payments in shops almost halved, from 39% to 20%. That's in a 5-year period. So that's up to 2015. I bet between 2015 and 2020, it may half again. Looking at around 10%, maybe 15% if you want to be conservative. Slowly but surely, nobody's really using cash there. But it doesn't mean that they're not accepting it, of course. It's still in circulation, people are using it, but it's just becoming less and less likely. Canada is the #1 in ranking for the most cashless societies. Now, I don't know how exactly they're rating this, but check this out. When the world finally goes cash-free, already predetermining it by the way, there's a good chance Canadians will get there first. The country is moving towards a cashless society faster than anyone else, studies suggest. So it's going in here, narrowly edging out Sweden in this case. Well, it goes on further in the bottom paragraph. I won't read it to you, but that's another example of which they have been doing this. Now, other countries around the world have been eliminating some of the smaller denominations. And in this case here, just talking about Canada, but I'll show you in a moment more. Penny rounding adds $3 million a year to grocery stores' bottom line. So the way it works, if you're not aware, is basically if you buy an item and it's $10.03, there's no more penny. So they're not going to be able to give you that. So you either round up or round down depending on what that value comes out as. If you're using a digital means, then they can give you the pennies. But if you're using cash, then they will round up or round down. Okay? So in doing so, it actually profited these grocery stores in Canada $3 million. This here, withdrawal of low denomination coins. And this is a Wikipedia article basically going through all the different countries that have done this over the years. I mean, it stretches back hundreds of years in some cases. But you're looking at this, usually it's their penny, their 1-cent coin, and it could be as much, I was noticing here, a 50-cent coin or equivalent. What I'm seeing is basically the squeeze that's occurring. I understand why. I mean, I know why they're getting rid of something like a penny, because it costs more to keep the penny around than it is to use it. To keep it in circulation, it's too expensive. Okay, that's just the way it is. The devaluation of the currencies has become too much, and the pennies aren't really worth anything. I mean, people throw them on the floor, people just throw them in the garbage. They're basically useless. That's what people do anyway. So this here is the squeeze from one end, but there's also the squeeze from the other end. And a lot of the countries are getting rid of their larger denomination notes. One example, look, in the Eurozone, they printed up these new banknotes, and this is the new Europa series. Conveniently left out the 500 euro. They're saying you can still use the 500 euro if you have one. It's just not going to be part of the new series. It's legal tender. You can use it for as long as you want, but we're not going to be issuing any new ones. So it'll phase itself out. Then you have all these digital means, completely digital means of transaction, whether it's Apple Pay or anything, PayPal or anything. You're going to be able to use these today to transact between people. They already exist, they're becoming more popular, and I could totally, completely understand why people would want to use this method. Whether it's using your cell phone, credit card, debit card, or any other new sort of technology that they're coming out with. You're going to be able to pay quickly, have no issues in terms of, did they give me the right change back and did it go through and everything. You're able to get that digitally on your screen. You'll be able to see the transactions in your log into your banking apps and websites and everything else. I get it. So here's my opinion, right? We are entering into this cashless society. You definitely see that. I've shown you just a few instances here, whether it's the IMF, whether it is different countries around the world, they're all pushing for it, okay? And there are reasons why they're doing this, okay? There's the natural forces that occur, whether it's the devaluation of currencies resulting in the elimination of low denomination currency, whether it is the fraud that's taking place, whether it is, you want to keep controls, capital controls and everything else. You want to be able to, as a government, you want to be able to monitor and track everything. I get that, why they would want to do that. However, if you and I are engaging in a business deal, and it might be, for example, I am selling you a product, okay? I want to sell you my book. So I take my book and we meet up at on the street somewhere, and I say to you, okay, my book costs $20, okay? So you give me a $20 bill in cash and I give you my book. So you got your product, I got my cash. I can then take my cash, I can go to the store, I can buy a pack of gum with it, and I can, take that cash. I can use the remainder. The individual who owns that store, he could take the cash out of his business, spend it on something else, or he can then use that cash to give to somebody else. And you see the way it works, right? The money moves around, the money velocity and everything else. But no third party ever needed to know about our transaction. There's no need for that. If I'm selling you something or I'm giving you something, you're giving me money. For example, it's Christmas time coming around, holiday time, and you want to give me a gift, okay? You want to give me $20, okay? So during that time frame, you would give me cash, $20. Here you go. Congratulations. Why does the third party need to know about it? And the answer is that they don't need to know about it. That's the whole point. And what they will say to us is that we don't want to, have any intrusion on what you do. You do it. However, we just want to know that everything is fine. Everything is safe. And we're going to make sure that everything along the way from point A to point B gets to where it is, and there won't be any issues of fraud or anything else. Well, I think that's what they're telling us, but unfortunately, that just doesn't work like that. You need to have some sort of anonymity. You need to have your own sovereignty and liberty and freedom to transact without the knowledge of a third party. And that's really why I like cash. And in a crisis scenario, you're going to want to have cash. If the banks are shut down, I can still go to the store. I can still buy my needs that I have. I can still, give money to people. I can pay certain people to fix certain things and anything. It's good to have. I mean, it's an emergency situation. Over time, it devalues. You don't want to hang on to it for long periods of time under your mattress. That's the bad thing about cash. But it provides us a way to transact. And so I do believe that it is part of, anybody's preparation. So I'll leave it at that. And if you found the video informative, please give me a thumbs up. Understand where this is going. I think it is very serious, and all countries are affected by it. If you found the video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can flip through these books. If you go over to Amazon, there's a look inside feature. It will allow you to flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. Take care.